And good morning, Oshkosh. One more time, day 4, Oshkosh 2025. Everybody here has been incredibly cooperative and helpful anytime we have a dumb question. And when it comes to dumb questions, I lead the pack. Let's talk a little bit about the weather forecast for the day. We're looking for more clouds and sun. Duh. Humid with a heavy thunderstorm chance. And, of course, with thunderstorms damaging winds. Be careful, everybody out there. Currently, winds expected out of the west-southwest at 9, gusts to 23, 80% chance of precip during the day, high of 82, low of 68. Cross your fingers that we get a little bit closer to the 68 than we do the 82. The biggest problem is humidity is way up there in the 90% range or higher, so yikes. Story of the day, the new administrator is here. He will be meeting 11:30 at Theater in the Woods. I am there to ask my usual snooty questions. There will be a number of other people. Mind you, the guy's only been at time and grade here for a couple days. At the same time, he's got a fairly decent staff there to answer questions that he may not be ready for. I'm fairly sure that Chris Rocheleau, was acting administrator, now associate administrator, will be around. We've got some real interesting questions for our current flight surgeon, especially in regards to some of the treatment they've done on mental health issues. The xylofoxalin story in particular comes to mind because that's about as unfair as it gets. And we will be asking those questions if we get the chance. But keep an eye on Airborne later today for the best and the brightest and the worst and the mostest from that particular event. And most important of all, keep an eye on Aero-News, aero-news.net for breaking stories as they occur throughout the day. Okay, let's get to the fun stuff. We got here and everybody was buzzing, hey, you got to see this little silver plane. It's cute, it's cool. They've got 4 of them. They flew them out from Colorado. They did 4 airplanes from Colorado to Oshkosh on 88 gallons of gas. And I'm sitting there back in the office going, yeah, right. Guess what, folks? It's true. Let me introduce Steve Wood, the boss behind the SE1. Steve, how the heck did you do this?
Well, by how did we do this? You mean get here with 4? What do you mean? Pull off the design and development? We started this quite a while ago, Jim. I would even admit maybe an embarrassingly long time ago. We started with a different engine. We had an airframe we liked. We ultimately decided the only way we're going to have a reliable source of an engine for our airplane is we're going to have to be in control of it. That means we have to design a development, and that's what we did. So, how did we do it? It just takes a lot of hard effort by a lot of dedicated people. That's how we did it.
Well, the machine is gorgeous. It has hints of a number of generations of early classic aviation. Little Ryan, little this, little that. I mean, it's just a stunning little machine. What does it do, though? Let's talk about the performance numbers.
Well, we were aiming for, from the beginning, one of our objectives was to be able to honestly advertise a 100-mile-an-hour cruise on 2 gallons an hour of fuel consumption. That was a driving element of the design because we believe we weren't after the go-fast airplane. We're after the economical to operate yet adequately fast airplane, and that's what we've done. It achieves those goals. Frankly, it has probably exceeded our expectations in every regard. Takeoff roll, rate of climb. Service ceiling is spectacular. We developed it in the rarefied air of western Colorado, and frankly, all the way to Oshkosh, we were setting a new low-density altitude record for ourselves to enjoy what increasingly felt like turbocharging to an already good-performing airplane.
Well, as we keep remarking on the looks of the bird, as I understand it, you don't really want these things painted.
No, we don't say the P word. Painting, I've had a lot of experience in manufacturing. What I tell people is anytime you give someone something sticky, wet, or gooey and say, put about this much right here, those are the hardest manufacturing processes to control. Painting is a high skill thing. It would probably add 30 to 35 pounds to a very light airplane. The airplane is not 6061, it's ALCLAD 2024. And the stripes on the airplane are not painted. They're vinyl decals, and that's all by intention. There's a couple things that will have to be painted. We'll powder coat the engine mount. The fuel cap is powder coated. All the rest of the steel components in the airplane are manganese phosphate with preservation oil, which is, I borrowed that from the DoD contracting business that we were in for a long time.
You developed your own engine. When we hear of new airplanes coming out and, oh yeah, we're developing our own engine, the first thing that comes to mind is how many have fallen along that particular route? You seem to have succeeded. Tell us about the engine.
Well, this wasn't a half-baked approach. We had no consultants involved when we designed and developed the airframe. We know how to do that part. We're structures people, we're stability and control people, we're aerodynamic systems. We understand that. When we decided we were going to do our own engine, I said, I want to go get a couple people involved that have done this before. And in particular, we had three principal contractors, could be argued even four in the early going, just to double check the conceptual details and then to follow through. This engine was developed using GT Power, which is one of the premier engine development softwares. That's how you do it these days, frankly. It saves you probably 75 or 80% of the time you would spend in the test cell. And anytime we've come to a question during development, we can look back at those analysis results and they're spot on in telling us what the next step should be.
The flight out from Grand Junction, Colorado. Tell me about that.
Well, frankly, it was pretty magical. As you can imagine, it was the start of the culmination of a long-time dream. We took off out of Grand Junction Regional Airport early Thursday morning, and when I say early, we had our lights on. We just followed the Colorado River basin up just like a slow cruise climb, and we were prepared to go right over the high part of the Front Range, but we're VFR, and it was socked in. Denver and the I-25 corridor up along the Front Range was socked in. We ended up having to divert up to Laramie, Wyoming. That was our first stop. After that, Valentine, Nebraska. After that, Worthington, Minnesota. That's where we stopped for the first night, and we came on in the next day. But it was just fun. I mean, it's 4 airplanes flying in a loose echelon or loose diamond, always taking off and landing as a flight of 4. And I'm so appreciative of the pilots who, in a couple of cases, they just wanted to be involved. A good friend of mine came from Maryland, airlined out to Colorado because he didn't want to miss the chance to be part of this. Others who are based there, and 2 of us are Spirit people, but it's just a memorable thing. We'll never forget it because it's magical to see our beautiful country from a 100-mile-an-hour perspective.
Had to be a great trip. You should have invited me. I'd have gone in a heartbeat, man. Are you kidding?
Well, let me tell you this, and this is no joke. One of the guys that came from Maryland, he had to go home. So right now we have 4 airplanes here and 3 pilots for the return trip. So I'm not. We'll see. I mean, seriously, we need someone to fly one back.
I'm serious. Call me. You got to remember, I'm one of those wackos that in the early 80s was flying ultralights from coast to coast. Came out here from Watsonville, California, in a little pterodactyl at 40, 45 miles an hour, and met up in the middle here at Oshkosh. Told Paul Poberizny I'd be here on the first day right after the air show. He's out there waiting for me, gives me a big bear hug. Okay, now go to work. And we made it all the way back out to the East Coast. So going the way you're going, you're 2 to 3 times my speed. I'm ready.
Well, let's talk about it. Probably if there's one thing I would want people to understand, we've had people come in and say, can I write you a check right now? And we say, no, you can't write us a check right now because we're not even set up to take the check. We're not sure if we'd be charging you Wisconsin. We don't know, okay? Perhaps we were more prepared with the airplane and the engine than we were to take money. We'll start deliveries this fall, and we just want people to understand This isn't some kind of a hoax. This is for real. But we did not come here to sell the 3 or 4 airplanes that we brought. We came here to understand how soon should we ramp up to what build rate. And it looks to us like, well, we need to ramp up to a pretty good build rate, and we're excited about that.
Well, Steve, the one thing I really respect out of this, and this is not an overt criticism of folks who do it the other way around, but you have people who announce, hey, we're going to have this, that, and the other, and 3 or 4 years later they still don't have it, but they'll have it any day now. You did everything you needed to do. You prepped 4 airplanes, you flew them out here, and by and large, no pre-announcement, so and no vapor planes. You just showed up, there they were, ready to go. So it's appreciated when folks have the dream, the fortitude, and the ability to carry it out, and I've got tremendous respect for that.
Thank you for that, Jim. I brought the team to Oshkosh more than once, and oftentimes, and again, I'm not throwing rocks at anybody, but I would walk around and say, see this? This is what we're not going to do. We're not going to be here with advertising performance data or showing a prototype mock-up that hasn't flown and hyping it. We're going to not come until we're ready, and here we are.
Well, most important, for all the folks that are getting the teas right now, where can people get more information, and what can they expect if they're really interested in the airplane?
Well, first of all, there are two of our airplanes are down in the ultralight area. They're hard to miss. There are 2 of them in our exhibitor space, which is 218. They can get to our website at spiriteng.com. And if they come by the booth, we have this probably is typical Oshkosh. We have some swag. We'll pass them and things that will help them contact us. That answer the question?
Very much so. Steve, I thank you so much for joining us on Morning Brief and with the Airborne and Aero-TV teams. Dying to fly the airplane. That's all there is to it. And I'll look forward to chatting with you a little bit later on. And I'm serious. You need a pilot, you call me. Well, I got to check with my wife, but, she's usually really cool with all kinds of crazy things. Alrighty, folks. We are going to take a quick commercial break for a little bit of crass commercial messaging because, as you can see, Jimmy's got to eat. So here it comes. We'll be back in just a few moments with Morning Brief live from Whitman Field, Oshkosh 2025, Day 4. Be right back.
The Aero-News Network's Oshkosh Morning Brief, live from Oshkosh, Wisconsin, is brought to you in part by the following sponsors.
There's a world far beyond the city lights, beyond control towers and paved runways. That's where Hartzell flies. Hartzell carbon fiber props, stronger, lighter, faster, delivering unmatched performance, relentless durability, and raw power for those who demand more. So here's to untamed skies, faraway places, and the prop that's always ready for what's next. Hartzell Propeller, built on honor.
Introducing the Gleim Digital Pilot Examiner Auto. Meet Auto, the best way to practice for your oral exam so you can ace your check ride. Practice verbalizing your answers with Auto out loud in real time before being presented with the FAA referenced answer on screen to help reinforce your knowledge.
What are the characteristics of unstable
This
air?
is practice how it should be, conversational, comfortable, and realistic. So prepare to ace your check ride with Auto, your personal digital pilot examiner from Gleim Aviation.
The legendary BD 4-seat program is building an exciting future for those who want a rugged 4-seat family flyer with a proven history. The SureWings program produces a complete kit and builder assist program that gives you everything you need to be flying a BD 4CS in record time. For conventional kit builders, BD Aviation has parts, partial kits, and full kits for the 190-mile-per-hour BD-4C that has logged thousands of hours. Visit SureWings.com and BDAviation.com for more details.
Folks, we're in Alaska, and this is Lake Hood.
We want to use this opportunity to talk about AirVenture at Oshkosh. You may not realize it, but there's a float plane base on Lake Winnebago that is part of AirVenture.
We also want to tell you about our Oshkosh sale. It's a great time to stock up on your King courses, July 18th through the 31st.
Just use the code word Oshkosh on checkout to get 25% off of all King courses.
My kit fuel gauge is really being weird.
It's acting up again. We've got plenty of fuel, but those gauges really are not all that accurate.
Great.
For years, fuel gauges confirmed you were empty, but couldn't warn you before. SAIS delivers certified full-range accuracy because knowing before empty makes all the difference.
Accurate fuel gauges.
That is so nice.
SAIS, accuracy before empty.
Gosh. Had to come back, huh? All righty. Well, here we are. Once again, Mother Nature is still cooperating a little bit with us. Pretty much overcast, but so far the rain seems to have stopped from the little bit of dribbling and so forth we were getting this morning. We'll cross our fingers and hope it stays clear at least till after the air show. Let me introduce Attila Garbro. Attila is the head of an amalgam of companies starting with Gratiero. He has breathed new life into an extraordinary design that's never quite gotten the attention it deserved, the BD4. The joke is it looks like the box it came in, but it's fast, it's strong, it's got this tubular spar that I dare anybody to break that thing without hitting something first. And on top of it, the history of the airplane and the people who built them is really quite impressive. Tell us what's happening with all of the programs starting with the BD4.
Sure, good morning. The BD4 project is something we started in 2021. And basically, we were looking to build a very safe, reliable, cost-effective aircraft to operate. And we looked at several airframes, and the short list became short really quick, and the BD4 was just on top, no doubt. So from there, we went to engine selection, and we chose the Viking 195-horse engine. Today, we have the MW Fly 210 and 240 horse turbo engines available as well. But the idea was to build a modern aircraft using a classic tried and true airframe, impeccable record. And in 2021, when we were at AirVenture and also at Sun and Fun, we took a lot of feedback from folks. We listened to all the things that they, suggested that we put in the actually completed aircraft, and we incorporated about 80% of it. So what we have here today is essentially a completed aircraft that has everything that folks asked us for, that we could do within reason. There's a few other things that we will modify in the actual production kits, such as door handles and cup holders, etc. There'll be the second designs. But for the most part, it's a completed aircraft that folks can look at. And the response so far has just been tremendous. We've got people swarming all over the booth all day. And we offer the aircraft under two different operating companies. BD Aviation, where we sell the kit, and the builder can build it themselves, and they can get some degree of build assist if they want, like specifically for the wings. And they can choose their engine, avionics, etc. Traditional kit build business. And under SureWings, we have a complete aircraft kit that comes with build assist. All the equipment is pre-selected. The choices are color, upholstery, and engine type. And that's about a 4-month program. So folks can literally be flying in 4 months. We also have financing for it through Banterra Aircraft Finance. So they only need to put down $49,000. We don't expect them to pay for the aircraft and then get it financed. The bank takes care of the last 80% after everything's finished. So we've made it as easy as we can for people to start flying.
Outstanding. Well, on top of it, you've built a whole new division around a new aircraft engine for this community that hasn't been seen much in the USA. Tell us a little bit about MW Fly.
Sure. So we started MW Fly Americas as the distributor for the Americas for MW Fly. The engine has been in development since 2004. First engine was sold in 2014. That was the first generation engine. And in 2024, they came out with a second gen called the Spirit. We have with us today a 210 horsepower turbocharged Spirit engine. The engines are either 2.2 or 2.5 liter displacement. There's a boxer engine, fuel injected, electronic ignition, redundant ECUs, redundant everything essentially, redundant fuel. Horsepower is anywhere from 100 to 240 horsepower. You can get it left rotation, right rotation, geared, direct, turbo, naturally aspirated. Basically, we've got folks wanting to put in a twin velocity, replacing their 360s. But it works in pretty much any configuration. The direct drive option goes up to 160 horsepower for a helicopter, up to 140 for an airplane. Above 140, it's going to be geared for an airplane. And we're getting a lot of response. The 140, there's a lot of demand for that, and everybody wants a 240 right now, it seems.
More power, mo better, mo power. There you go. Well, you've got your first BD4C, or is it BD4CS? Yes. Yes, okay. I want to make sure I had that right. You have your first BD4CS on display here, and as I understand, it's about to get wrapped this morning. Yep. And what can you tell us about the process that you've developed around building the aircraft and how that's going to apply to folks coming in to build their own?
Okay, so our Build Assist facility is in San Pedro, California, which is essentially right next to Long Beach. And the process would be the builder would be at our facility approximately 2 weeks. We would like that split up over 4 separate trips with 3 or 4 days each trip, so that they could partake in all the things that they have to do to comply with the 51% line item rule. Everything that we need for the complete aircraft kit is in stock. So we don't have delays, which is how we can say it's 4 months to fly, because it's just a matter of assembling it. As you know, the primary fuselage itself goes together in a weekend. And now with the Akron, Ohio facility making all the parts with CNC, everything is perfectly lined up. So there's no time spent, truing everything out. You Cleco it together, upsize drill, countersink, take it apart, Aladyne it, and then do final assembly. But everything lines up perfectly the first time around. And basically in that 4-month window, all the steps will be completed. The builder will get to experience all the parts of the build that they need to, and they'll know their equipment really well and make them a safer pilot. In the overall purchase experience, we will have a time and type training program through an affiliate company. Doesn't matter what you fly during the day, every aircraft is different, and we feel that it's important for everyone to have some degree of time and type training. So that'll be 2 days with a flight instructor, 1 day in a simulator, specifically a BD4CS flight simulator that we're developing, so that the builder can be as safe as he or she can be.
Outstanding. Well, a lot has happened to the BD4 design over the years. There's a bunch of them floating around there in various configurations. Can you do tail dragger, or is it just all trike?
Under the BD Aviation program, it can be a tail dragger. The Sure Wings edition can only be a tricycle gear.
For insurance purposes. Okay, there you go. Finally, what is the BD4CS capable of these days? Run the numbers for me.
So with the Viking engine, we anticipate 180 knot cruise. With the 240 MW Fly engine, it should be around 200 knots. So we're building a second aircraft for the MW Fly engine as a demonstrator, so we'll have 2 demonstrators, then we'll get the exact numbers. But the calculations so far, you're going to have a 200 knot BD4.
That's smoking.
Yeah.
So where can people get more information, and what's the production line look like? When, where, how? I got me some money. I want to go get me an airplane.
Okay, so for the kits, the fuselage kits, we have 10 or 20 of them in stock. They've been building them like crazy in Akron. They can ship within 24 hours. There's no lead time. There's no wait time. On the SureWings program, we are working on 2 builds currently. There's 4 more in queue. We just moved into larger facilities. We're looking at turning up a 7,000 square foot hangar on field at an airport that's pretty close by. I would say if someone were to place an order today, their build could start in about 6 months. But we're going to get that number down. But right now, we just have more demand than we even anticipated, so there's a little bit of a lead time to start that program.
Outstanding. Well, I am awaiting my invitation to come out and fly this beast. I've flown BD-4s in the past. They've been fun little birds. Jim Beatty Sr. in his day did really great work with stability and control. He knew the drill, and even that little BD-5 was a tremendously fun flyer and far more stable and maneuverable than people would normally have believed. It was just really a sweet machine. So we know the BD-4 is in good hands now. It's carrying on through a relationship with a family. We're excited for that. But if somebody's looking for info on this or any of the programs, where can they get info?
So they can go to surewings.com or bdaviation.com. Our parent company, Gratia Aero site is gratia.aero, A-E-R-O. And one thing to add about the BD-4, people ask us all day, how does a aircraft with this shape go so fast? Well, it's brilliantly designed. That flat windshield, there's a reason for that. That's to keep the air flowing over the wing, above the fuselage, so it's got lifting body design. We get a lot of benefit from that. It's deceptively fast and aerodynamic.
And also for MW Fly Americas.
MWFlyAmericas.com. And all our phone numbers are on the first page at the top. We love talking to our customers. Give us a call.
Attila, thank you for spending some time with us on Morning Brief here in the middle of Oshkosh craziness and chaos. And we look forward to seeing what the machine looks like with a wrap in a little bit. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Much appreciated. Okay, folks, let's talk about the rest of the day. It's going to be an interesting one, and we are ready for the day air show at 14:15 CDT. So we're looking forward to seeing our folks get a start there. Make a long story short, the list looks like National Anthem with Golden Knights out of a DHC-8, a vintage showcase, various aircraft there, but that's certainly to be a good time with a number of classic aircraft. Philip Steinbach is following with Gamebird. Warbirds of America, again, a variety of aircraft attending there. Paul Bennett, Wolf Pitts, Jerry Conley in the Vampire. I love that thing. Northern Stars, 3 pit specials. 3, count them, 3. Maryland Air National Guard with 4 A-10s. Boy, that's a crew that can take on anything. Don't mess with these guys. David Martin with the AGI T610. A B-1B Lancer Flyby. Bone. Love that thing. Kyle Franklin in the Super Cub. Ace Maker with 2 T-33s. RJ Gritter, in the decathlon. We've known RJ since he was knee-high to a grasshopper. Did a piece with him in model airplanes years ago. And it's amazing where he's come from and where he's going to. Good guy, great air showman. Also, here we go. Are you ready for this? An ME-262 at Oshkosh. Seriously. I mean, what an aura from World War II. Absolutely extraordinary. Ed Hamill follows with the pits. And how do you follow an ME-262? Well, Ed Hamill's capable. The United States Air Force has a KC-46 demo. Bernie Vasquez with a P-47. United States Marine Corps. I'm an Air Force guy. We'll let the Marine guys kind of slide by. But they're flying the F-35B, so yeah, that'll be fun. And Aaron Fitzgerald in the BO-105. Let's talk Hilo Acro. Could be good times. All right, for the rest of the day, there's some stuff caught our eye on the schedule. Warbirds in review at 10 o'clock, P-38 Lightning, so forth and so on. At 1300, Grumman F-7F Tigercat, F-6F Hellcat, F-4F Wildcat. That's a lot of kitties. Boeing Plaza, interesting appearances. B-29 Super Fortress Dock. Massachusetts Air National Guard F-15C Eagle. Consolidated PB-47-2 Privateer. Berlin Airlift Foundation C-54 Skymaster Spirit of Freedom. Later on, there will be a balloon glow and Goodyear blimp over the Fun Fly Zone for the Twilight Flight Fest later on in the day. Theater in the Woods tonight is MASH, Healing the Wounds with Laughter. And from 7 to 9 o'clock, conversation with EAA Aviation Museum Manager Chris Henry about the TV show and a celebration of Korea's MASH units. Other things going on, tidbits for the day. Get mission ready with aircrew flight equipment, 1300 to 1600. A&G experts get hands-on with survival and extraction gear. One-on-one flight training device sessions at the Pilot Proficiency Center from now through 5 o'clock. Don't miss it. Runs through Saturday. Blue Barn, putting young eagles in the pilot seat. All about the Ray Aviation Scholarship and their phenomenal results so far. Pilots are getting certified because of the Ray Foundation, and God bless James Ray. 1300 to 1415. And don't forget to mark your calendars for the next big sport aviation event. A new winter flying at the Sport Aviation, the Lakeland campus for the Sun and Fun Aerospace Expo. Getting a little tongue-tied here. So join us this November 6th through 6th, 7th, and 8th, 2025. I promise you it's going to be something. It's going to be our first rendition, so be kind, but we've got the expertise of one of the best fly-ins in the country, if not the world, the Sun and Fun Aerospace Expo folks, and we are looking forward to learning from them and presenting to you our very best. And don't forget, our sponsor of the day is none other than Hartzell Prop, Hartzell Engine Technologies, Hartzell Everything, and frankly, for a company that's grown this big, they are good citizens, good friends. We love dealing with them, and more importantly, anything else, they seem to have a really good feel for their place in the community and their desire to make the community better. And that is that. Folks, I appreciate you spending time with Morning Brief and our Aero-News, Airborne, Aero-TV folks. Keep an eye on us at aero-news.net. More live work at airborne-live.net. And, of course, airbornetv.net for all of our airborne programming, as hosted by Holland Lee, who's just done a spectacular job with Nathan Cremosino as our chief videographer. And I need to get a drink of water because I am running out of space here and I am getting tongue-tied. So that's enough of that. Folks, thank you so much for joining us on Morning Brief, live from Whitman Field, AirVenture, Oshkosh 2025. We will see you tomorrow at 0900. All the best.
The Aero-News Network's Oshkosh Morning Brief, live from Oshkosh, Wisconsin, is brought to you in part by the following sponsors.
There's a world far beyond the city lights, beyond control towers and paved runways. That's where Hartzell flies. Hartzell carbon fiber props, stronger, lighter, faster, delivering unmatched performance, relentless durability, and raw power for those who demand more. So here's to untamed skies, faraway places, and the prop that's always ready for what's next. Hartzell Propeller, built on honor.